It just makes it easier.
Bob, you might be interested in the KIDP program. Have you ever considered moving to Orlando?
Yeah, I was going to say that was actually one of the very first things I ever learned as a professional. One of my very first jobs was working in a call center, and they can't see you, but they will know. So smile when you pick up the phone.
No.
And I will tell you that as a yoga teacher, I also learned that when you smile, you relax all of these muscles, which actually opens your throat up, so you get more oxygen when you breathe, which is obviously better. So it's all
same
good.
Same for doing radio. No one can see you, but you're supposed to smile before you start talking.
Right.
Absolutely. And in my stress management channel episode, one of my 7 surefire cures for relieving test stress is to smile. And so I'm trying to train Kaplan students to smile during the LSAT. Hard enough, but a smile becomes infectious. It really does. Now I have to see whether, then this is going to be my real personal test. I'm going to try to smile before I open emails. Obviously it's not going to affect the email or the sender, but I want to see whether it affects my mood and makes me better prepared to do whatever the email is urging me to do. So I'll report back at some point.
I prefer to just curse before I open emails.
See, that's a fixed mindset, and that kind of cynicism is not going to help you, Dan.
Exactly. You gotta direct yourself before you wreck yourself, Bob. It's all about growth mindset. I get it.
Yes, I know you do. I know you do.
I'm going to go get a power plug. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
All right, Jay's out of the game.
What is that thing on Jay's ceiling? It looks like Tom Cruise is getting ready to
the old air conditioner duct.
From the air conditioner duct. Bum, bum, bum. Are you excited about Mission Impossible 12 or whatever number we're up to, Dan?
I think I watched the first one, and that was it.
No kidding. Oh, I love them. I love those movies.
Yeah, that's your loss. The first one is kind of generic. The second one is meh. But from there on out, I mean, it's nothing amazing, but it's perfectly serviceable action scenes and fight scenes and, popcorn movie to pleasantly kill an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah, it's not quite as good as I think the 2 greatest recent action films, John Wick 1 and 2. Which are so great because they are pure action. They don't stop for theme or subplot. And the Mission Impossible movies are always stopping to make some sort of comment about government overreach or the morality of it. In fact,
right.
I just
don't underestimate the killing of one's dog as
a plot device. That was the thing that was so incredible. Oh, I've seen that first movie easily 15 times.
It's brilliant.
It's absolutely magnificent. And part 2, though it gets very kind of nihilistic and very downbeat by the end, is right up there. And really they work together. I can't wait for the third one to really wrap up everything. That formula for action is just mind-bendingly good, I think. Ray, quick to the buzzer, bad sign for us. Well, quick to the buzzer has its perils, but,
Do we have everybody now? Or
no.
Are we still waiting on some folks?
Well, I guess we don't. Are we waiting for Jay? Is Jay back? Maybe we should do a buzzer check because we have 8 people.
Sorry, you didn't see me. I'm here.
We have 8 people signed in, so maybe if we do a buzzer check. Can we buzzer check the LSAT team, starting with Glenn? Okay, I did not see it on the screen, so let's try it again. That's Jay. Jack Chase. Matt. Glenn. Okay, now the blue team, Ray. Joe. Andy. Charlie. All right. So I guess we're good. Hi, friends. I hope you're watching there at the cafetorium or whatever they're calling it now at 7:50. I was there last week watching a match. It was a lot of fun. I am your stern but wry quizmaster, Bob Verini, and Elizabeth is our scorekeeper. And Dan Strafford, as always, is making sure we're all honest and connected. We welcome you to this match between two very strong teams. The blue team is me, Casu, Marzu, and Ray, ever affable Ray, except when he's playing this game, is the captain. And then my buddies from the LSAT team, the LSAT Jedi, with Matt Belinky as their affable captain. Excuse me. I want to remind the captains that in a steal situation, of course, nobody's going to get anything wrong, so we won't have any possible steals. But in a steal situation, we would appreciate it if you would do two things. Open up your mics so we can hear you talking. It's always more fun for the viewers if they can hear the team consulting for 10 seconds. And then I need Ray and Matt, I need you to say final answer, because a lot of stuff is thrown around and the captain speaks for the team. So I need to hear you say, Bob, we're going to go with such and such final answer. Okay, guys? That's for Matt and Ray. You don't have to open up your mics, but it's more fun for everybody. Okay, teams ready? Can I get a thumbs up? Big smiles? Okay, we're ready to go. Our first category in this match is This Island is Your Island. You have to name the country that owns the island, okay? It doesn't have to be in the form of a question. Here we go for 1 point. Bolshevik Island. Ray?
What is Russia?
Russia is correct. First blood for the blue team. 1 point. This island is your island for 2. Cozumel. Cozumel. Ray.
What is Mexico?
Mexico is right. And Ray is out of the category. He uses the Vegas dealer. I'm done. His team will have to, as his head gets very, very tiny in the distance, he will, and even tinier disappears, his team will have to pick up the slack for this 3-point question. This island is your island. Lemnos and Lesbos. Glenn.
Greece.
You better get that one right, mister. I always thought Lemnos and Lesbos would be a great cartoon series or something. Here we go for This Island is Your Island for 4. Ellesmere and Victoria Island. Jack.
What is Canada?
Oh, Canada is right. 4 points for the red team. That's right. Finally, This Island is Your Island for 5. Sardinia. Jack.
What is Italy?
Italy is correct for 5 points. All righty. Now, these categories are chosen, by the way, these games are chosen with no regard for the players involved, okay? So I didn't go, we at the Cabal never go out of our way to pick these, with some agenda in mind. Our next category is football free-for-all. Football free-for-all for 1 point. First presented in 1935, this Bronze College Football Award weighs 20, Ray?
What is the Heisman Trophy?
The Heisman Trophy is right for 1 point. Football free-for-all for 2. In 1974, this team, not a pod, of mammals, not fish, won the Super Bowl. Not kidding. Glenn?
The Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins is right for 2 points. Here we go for 3. Everybody muted? Yes. Founded in 2003, his Dream Foundation has committed $4.5 million to charity. This quarterback is a true saint. Ray?
Who's Drew Brees?
Drew Brees is right for 3 points. And Ray is once again fading into the distance as his team picks up the slack for the 4-point football question. Yanking a player down by his shoulder pads from behind is this equine penalty? Joe?
Horse collar?
Horse collar. Horse collaring is correct for 4 points. Very good. Okay. Now, finally, football free-for-all for 5. As coach of the Jets, he had the gang green defense deal out hard knocks and enjoy some gosh darn snacks. As coach of the Jets, he had the gang green defense. Jay?
Who is Ryan?
Rex Ryan is correct for 5 points. Nicely done, Jay. Okay, the fact that he's a host, he has no host privileges here. He's a player. Okay, let's go shopping. That's not a category. That's an invitation. No, it is the category. Let's go shopping. Okay, for 1 point. Those in the world of finance know JASDAQ, like NASDAQ, is a market for these. Those in the world of finance know JASDAQ, like NASDAQ, is a market for these. Ray?
What are stocks?
Stock market is correct for 1 point. Let's go shopping for 2. At Spectrum auctions, the government sells parts of this 9-letter spectrum. At Spectrum auctions, the government sells, Matt? Matt? Can't hear anything. I'm not hearing anything.
Looks like his mic's not working.
Okay.
There you go.
Hello?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't hear your response, Matt.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Broadband?
Incorrect.
Okay, that wasn't worth it at all.
Incorrect. Let's throw it over to the blue team. At Spectrum auctions, the government sells parts of this 9-letter spectrum. And you may consult openly or closed. You have 10 seconds to answer or pass.
What do you guys think?
How many is electromagnetic?
Frequency? Too many. Charlie put frequency in the chat.
R-O.
No, it's not.
Yeah, electromagnetic is.
I was counting letters in the chat.
Broadcast?
No. I think we're going to pass, Bob.
Broadcast. That's 9 letters. Broadcast.
We're going to pass. Final answer.
Okay. Who is it who was saying broadcast?
Yeah.
Well, you should have stuck to your guns, dude. It is broadcast.
Sorry, Andy.
Okay. Isn't this fun? I love this. Let's go shopping for 4. Okay. Everybody muted? Charlie, you got to mute. Thank you. In 1926, he published his first Blue Book of Motor Car Values. Jay?
Kelly.
Les Kelly is right for 4 points. By the way, broadcast was a triple stumper on the show, so nobody need feel bad.
Hey, Bob, was that a 3 or 4 point question?
I think that was a 3-point question, wasn't it?
3 points, yeah. Broadcast was 2, and Kelly was 3.
So now we're on to the 4. Okay.
Now we're on the 4. Here we go. Let's go shopping. You're going to a Fasig-Tipton auction if you want to buy one of these 4-legged competitors. You're going to a Fasig-Tipton auction if you want to buy one of these 4-legged competitors. Charlie?
Horse?
Racehorse is right for 4 points. Fasig-Tipton. Finally, let's go shopping for 5. The Dynasty League auction is where you build your lineup for this activity. Jack?
What is fantasy football?
We would accept fantasy football, baseball, or any fantasy sport. That is correct. Okay, at the end of the first half of the first round, it's still neck and neck, really. LSAT Jedi is ahead 25 to 16 for Casu Marzu, but there's lots of points ahead and interesting clues, I think. Here's our next one, going international. Now, international is in air quotes, which means that every response will have the word international in it. Everybody got that? Every correct response will have the word international in it. For instance, for 1 point, it follows Washington Dulles. Andy?
International airport.
That's right, for 1 point for the blue team. Going international for 2. It's basically the 180th meridian of longitude. Jack?
What is the international dateline?
Yep, 2 points, that's correct. Going international for 3. We've got to catch that rogue in his speedboat before he reaches these. Another term, Ray?
What are international waters?
International waters, another term for the high seas. International waters is right. Folks, keep track of your two buzzes, okay? Because sometimes it's hard for us to, we're looking at a lot of things at once, so please be disciplined about it. Thank you. Okay, for 4 points. This measurement used of vitamins isn't a fixed quantity, but the amount that produces a biological result. This measurement used of vitamins isn't a fixed quantity, but the amount that produces a biological result. 5 seconds. Time. Dan, Elizabeth?
I want to say it's international units.
You got it. You got it. I never knew that. 2000 IU, that's what an international unit is. And it was a triple stumper on the show, Elizabeth. So major bragging rights for you today. Okay. Finally, going international for 5 points. Boston University offers an MA in Global Development through this department. Andy?
International Studies.
Incorrect. Great for the red team. I'll say it again. Matt, you can answer a final answer or pass. Boston University offers an MA in Global Development through this department.
I'm guessing it's international relations, but I don't know for sure, Matt.
I was going to say international studies. So international relations is a decent guess.
If only the LSAT team had spent summers at Boston University to learn this.
Yeah.
I majored in international relations, so I know it's a real major.
Yeah,
I feel like we should go with it if you major.
I'd side with Jack on that.
I would too.
It's like a Slumdog Millionaire moment where it's like everything in Jack's life has been leading up to this. All right, we're gonna go
It's a terrible, terrible life.
international relations. Final answer.
That's the final answer from our Slumdog. You are correct. International relations. That major finally came in handy there, Jack. Okay. Next category. World leader CIA files. World leader CIA files. Okay, for 1 point. Entered University of Havana Law School, 1945. Glenn?
Fidel Castro.
That is right. Became premier in 1959, possibly poisoned. That was the whole clue. You didn't need it. That's 1 point for the red team. World leader CIA files for 2. The Liberator seized Caracas, 1810. Ray?
Who is Simon Bolivar?
Simon Bolivar. And the clue went on to say, by the way, lost Caracas, recaptured Caracas in 1813. So he was in and out, I guess. Okay. World leader CIA files for 3. Ran Iran, 1941-1979. Ran away, January, Andy?
The Shah of Iran.
Shah of Iran, Reza Pahlavi is correct. Ran away January 16th, 79. Ran out of time, 1980. You know, I'm sure the writers would appreciate my getting in there a little wordplay and quips here. Okay, for 4 points. Born December 4th, 1892, El Ferrol, Spain. Made general at 34. Ray?
Who is Franco?
Extensive death coverage after fact. Franco is correct. And Ray is out once again, proceeding into the sunset. Here we go for 5 points in CIA files. Roman Emperor, 117 to 138 AD. Nephew of Trajan. Seriously into walls. Matt?
Hadrian?
Hadrian, and the wall is right for 5 points. Hadrian's wall. Okay. Our final category in the 1 to 5 point round is modern words. Modern words. For 1 point. Popularized by Starbucks, it's espresso with steamed milk. Most people, Andy?
Latte.
Most people don't bother to put cafe before it. That's right. 1 point for latte. Modern words for 2. A 5-letter word said once or repeated. It's flashy jewelry worn as an indication of wealth. Ray?
What is bling?
Bling or bling bling is correct for 2 points. Modern words for 3. Alphanumeric name for the most popular of a trio of audio encoding methods released in 1993. Jay?
MP3.
MP3 is right. And now we all know that It was released in 1993, which you might have known, but I didn't. Modern words for 4. Acoustic, like some performances. You might have caught Nirvana on the MTV show, Jack.
What is unplugged?
Of the same name. Unplugged is correct for 4 points. And finally, 5 points for modern words. The Oxford English Dictionary has citations back to 1994 for this type of urban man who is fastidious about his grooming and fashion. Jack.
Was it metrosexual?
Metrosexual is right. Okay. Now we take a slight pause as we go into our Kaplan crowdsourcing potpourri round. For those of you unfamiliar with this phenomenon, we have asked our colleagues and peers from around the world, literally Kaplan, to submit trivia questions, and we're going to give you 5, one after another, each worth 3 points because we weren't able to test and norm them properly in psychometric fastidiousness. So here we go. These are each worth 3 points, but the same rule applies. You may only buzz in a maximum of 2 times. Here we go for 3 points. Where is the love for this band that performed the theme to Dirty Dancing 2 Havana Nights? Jack?
Was the Black Eyed Peas?
Black Eyed Peas, submitted by Black Eyed Bill Keevan. That is correct for 3 points. Frida Kahlo married, divorced, and then remarried this famous, Ray?
Who's Diego Rivera?
Mexican muralist Diego Rivera is right. That's 3 points for the blue team. That was Rochelle's contribution. For 3 points, this Scandinavian country tops the list of Winter Games Olympic medals at 368. Jack?
What is Norway?
Norway is right. 117 of them are gold, which outstrips everybody. Okay, Jack, I think you're out of this, right? You buzzed in you twice. Okay, here we go. 3 points. The 2 films for which Hilary Swank won Academy Awards as Best Actress, Ray?
What are Boys Don't Cry and $1 Million Baby?
That is right. Boys Don't Cry.
Double points, right?
No, 3 points. You get 1.5 points each. Okay, that was sent in by Rochelle as well. And finally, this archetypal manservant competed for search engine supremacy in the mid-1990s. Matt?
What is Jeeves?
Yes, this manservant, Ask Jeeves, is what we're looking for. Very good for 3 points. And Jeeves made a comeback, by the way, in England and Ireland. You can ask Jeeves in the United Kingdom now. Okay, and Kevin Mui sent that one in. At the end of our, this is interesting. At the end of our medium round, we have 2 odd scores, which means the possibility of a tie. Always exciting. Hasn't happened yet, but could.
Hey, Bob, before we begin the second round, I think Jay might need to tag out, so we were hoping that Craig could play as our 4th for the second round.
I believe that is within the rules. Dan, am I right?
I think it's an unwritten rule that we're letting happen. So yes, that sounds accurate.
Jay, do you need to roll?
I can stick around, but happy to cede to Craig if he's available.
Blue team is fine with anything that gets less J time. So
the LSAT team feels the same way.
We all win.
We all win.
Jay, if you're available to stick around for the next half hour, I'll. You just keep rolling. You guys are on a good tear here. So
Craig is literally holding a baby as he says this.
Okay.
He's trying for the sympathy vote.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Good luck, Jay.
Thanks, Craig.
Good luck, guys.
Okay, we're moving along, Jay. Whoever it is can cool their heels in the reception area, unless it's business, in which case. All right, here we go. Double the points, 2 to 10 points. First, marine biology. Marine biology. Everybody's favorite for 2 points. Fish that are anadromous migrate from the sea to freshwater rivers to do this. Andy?
Spawn.
Spawn, or as Sylvester would say, spawn. That's 2 points either way. We would have accepted spawn. Marine biology for 4. The spiny lobster is also named for this object. The redback salamander lives under one. Jay?
Cactus?
That is incorrect, and maybe you should have moved along.
Yeah.
But let's give it to the blue team. I'll repeat it. The spiny lobster is also named for this object. The redback salamander lives under one.
It's got to be rock, right?
Rock.
Team? Any dissenting views?
I mean, yeah.
All right. Rock, final answer.
Rock is correct. Rock lobster. That's right. Okay. No harm really done. We go to marine biology for 6. Now we can start doing harm. This shrimp-like crustacean is a major link in the Antarctic food chain. Andy?
Krill.
Krill is right.
And I'm
went
out.
on to say, swarms can reach concentrations of 35 pounds per cubic yard, which is a lot of krill. Okay, marine biology for 8. Off the coast of California, this brown seaweed can grow almost a foot a day. Jack?
What is kelp?
Kelp is right. And finally, marine biology for 10. Researchers recognize individual whales and follow their migration based on the pattern on the underside of each half of the whale's tail. Researchers recognize individual whales and follow their migration based on the pattern, Glenn?
The flukes.
The fluke is correct. A triple stumper on the show, Glenn. Very good, but that was no fluke. Okay, for 10 points. Now we go to a category close to my heart, movie waitresses. Movie waitresses. Okay. Everybody, Glenn, you've got to mute. Everybody mute for 2 points. 1970 classic in which Jack Nicholson told Lorna Thayer to hold the chicken between her knees. Andy?
5 Easy Pieces.
That's right. 5 Easy Pieces. We applauded it then. You look at it now and you say, how crass can one human being be to a working woman? Times change, but that's correct for 2 points. For 4 points. In this film, Helen Hunt as waitress Carol Connolly makes Jack Nicholson want to be a better man. Andy?
As Good as It Gets.
As Good as It Gets is right for 4 points. And it was as good enough to get an Oscar for both of them. Movie waitresses for 6. As Jenna in Waitress, this Felicity star, Ray?
It was Carrie Russell.
Carrie Russell served up pies at Joe's Diner and served up bullets in The Americans. For 8 points, movie waitresses. Audrey Tautou won rave reviews for her role as the shy, do-good waitress in a 2001 French film. Matt?
I'm trying to pronounce it. Amélie?
Amélie is correct. Amélie, lovely movie, awful musical. Don't see it if you can. Finally, movie waitresses for 10. In It Could Happen to You, Nicolas Cage shares more than his lottery winnings with a waitress played, Ray?
Who's Bridget Fonda?
By Bridget Fonda, is right. We haven't seen her in a while. Too bad, too. She's great. Okay. Now we go from the delicious movie waitresses to the not-so-delicious British cuisine. British cuisine. Here we go, friends, for 2 points. In the UK, cottage pie generally uses beef, and this, Ray?
Shepherd's pie. What is shepherd's pie?
Shepherd's pie uses lamb. That's right, for 2 points for the blue team. Catching up. British cuisine for 4. As Catholicism was banned, Queen Elizabeth tried to outlaw these symbolic roles. As Catholicism, Jack Chase?
What are croissants?
That is incorrect. A break for the blue team. As Catholicism was banned, Queen Elizabeth tried to outlaw these symbolic roles.
You guys, I'm fairly certain it's hot cross buns. Any dissenting views?
Chaz is our resident Catholic, so, but I have no clue at all.
I'm with you, Rick.
We're going hot cross buns. Final answer.
Hot cross buns is right. All right, that really tightens up the score, which is what we like. Here we go for 6 points in British cuisine. A traditional part of British cuisine is a plate of fish and chips served with mashed these on the side. Joe?
Peas.
Mushy peas is right for 6 points. And for the first time since the first question, the blue team is in the lead. British cuisine for 8. Perhaps at the end of your meal, you'd like to try some Caerphilly, Sage Derby, or Red Leicester this with some port. Perhaps at the end of your meal, you'd like to try some Caerphilly, Sage Derby, or Red Leicester this with some port. Matt?
Cheese?
Those are all forms of cheese. Very good, sir. Port and cheese, traditional postprandial snack. Red team back in the lead again. Finally, for 10 points in British cuisine. Sausages baked in a Yorkshire pudding-like batter are referred to in England as this creature in the hole. Sausages baked in a Yorkshire pudding-like batter are referred to in England as this creature in the hole. Charlie?
Toad.
Toad in the hole is right for 10 points. And once again, the blue team is in the lead, but it's very, very tight. Neck and neck at the end of the first half of the second round. Casu Marzu 89, the LSAT Jedi 85. It's essentially a tie. 3 more categories to break the tie. We start with a bunch of Monk. A bunch of Edvard Munch, to be precise. Edvard Munch for 2 points. Edvard Munch was born into a middle-class family in Loten in this country. Ray?
What is Norway?
Norway is right for 2 points, extending the blue team's lead. Bunch of Munch for 4. This 1893 painting was inspired by an experience in which, Jack Chase?
What is the Scream?
That is correct. I didn't think I was going to get past the word painting, but there, yeah, it was. I should mention that it was inspired by an experience in which Munch heard an infinite one throughout nature. He said.
Can I just test my buzzer real quick because it's not updating when.
Sure.
That's weird. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay, very good. All righty, bunch of Munch. And we have to have a surprise substitution, surprise substitution, surprise substitution. La 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 la. Yes, this is the 8-point clue. Am I right?
I think it's only 6.
Oh, the 6-point clue.
It's 8 if we get it. It was 6 if we miss it or if they get it.
No. Elizabeth, 6 points, yes?
Yes, 6 points.
Okay. The category is the streets of San Francisco. The streets of San Francisco. Napier Lane on Telegraph Hill is the only surviving San Francisco street still made of this stuff. Lots of it went in 1906. Napier Lane on Telegraph Hill is the only surviving San Francisco street still made of this stuff. Lots of it went in 1906. 5 seconds. Time. The correct question, what is wood? Is the only wooden street in San Francisco. Okay, we're back to Edvard Munch for 8 points.
I got kicked out of the buzzer. Can you wait 1 sec? Sorry.
What's that?
I got kicked out of the buzzer here.
Oh, all right. Sorry about that. Let's.
I didn't see you listed either on the.
Okay. Sorry.
There you are. Okay.
You're good, Charlie. Thank you. Okay. Edvard Munch for 8. Munch was one of the pioneers of this art movement, using color and line in a highly personal style to convey emotion. Matt.
Expressionism?
Say again?
Expressionism?
That is right for 8 points. Expressionism. Very good. Finally, for 10 points, in A Bunch of Edvard Munch. Munch painted several portraits of this Swedish playwright of Miss Julie fame. Ray?
Who is Strindberg?
August Strindberg is right for 10 points. Oh, the lead going back and forth, back and forth. At the moment, blue team 101, red team 97. Good heavens. Okay, teams, here we go with hairlines. Hairlines. Hairlines for 2 points. This dramatist wrote in one of his many sonnets, if hairs be wires, Ray?
Who is Shakespeare?
Yes, and I'll give the full clue because it's fun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I recall that quote. I'm going to have to look it up. That's right, for 2 points. For 4 points, hairlines. W.S. Gilbert wrote, he uses language that would make your hair do this. W.S. Gilbert wrote, he uses language that would make your hair do this. Time. It would make your hair curl. Language that would make your hair curl. Okay, for 6 points. Sorry, Dan, Elizabeth, I should have thrown that one to you. Here we go for 6 points. Hairlines. Sarah Teasdale. It's a quote. When I am dead and over me bright this month shakes out her rain-drenched hair, I shall not care. Listen closely. Sarah Teasdale. When I am dead and over me bright this month shakes out her rain-drenched hair, I shall not care. 5 seconds. Jack.
What is April?
Bright April. Very good. Shakes out her rain-drenched hair. And that, as the players see, and I hope the viewers too, ties up the score, 103 apiece. Hairlines for 8. His rape of the lock says, Ray?
Who is Alexander Pope?
Alexander Pope is right. Fair tresses, man's imperial race and snare, and beauty draws us with a single hair. But rape of the lock was all that was needed for the 8 points. Finally, for 10 points. Babies haven't any hair. Old men's heads are just as bare. Between the cradle and the grave lies a haircut and this. Glenn?
A shave.
A shave is right for 10 points. Between the cradle and the grave lies a haircut and a shave. At the end of the game, with one category to go, red team squeaks past into the lead again, 113 to meet Casu Marzu's 111. We need to be very scrupulous here, everybody, and especially about the 2 buzz rule. Good luck to both teams. It's been a great match. Let's see where it ends up. The category, nice perm, Trebek, but the word perm, P-E-R-M, is in quotes. So it's not about Will Ferrell. It's about 5 responses, each including the letters P-E-R-M. Nice perm, Trebek. Perm is in quotes. Okay, good luck to both teams. You both earned the victory. Let's see who gets it. For 2 points. Ground that's always frozen, Ray?
What is permafrost?
In polar regions, permafrost is correct. For 2 points, that ties it up. Nice perm, Trebek, for 4. A disposition to allow freedom of choice and behavior. A disposition to allow freedom of choice and behavior. Matt?
Permissive.
More specific?
No,
I'm going to allow it. As I reread the clue, the credited clue is permissiveness, but a permissive disposition, I think the adjective form is acceptable. So I'm talking to myself here, and we'll accept that for 4 points. Okay, for 6 points, nice perm, Trebek, perm in quotes. Red team has a slight 4-point lead. One of the various ways a group of things can be recombined, Matt?
Permutation.
Permutation is right, which extends your lead, but you are out of the category. So the red team goes on without Matt versus the blue team for our 8-point clue. A substance that can be pervaded by a liquid is said to have this, Glenn?
Permeable.
permeable or permeability? Yes, again, I will accept it for 8 points. Permeability. Finally, for 10 points, everybody's got a mute. Nice perm, Trebek. This sixth and last period of the Paleozoic era saw the birth of the reptiles. Andy?
Permian.
The Permian is correct. But with those two clues, the LSAT Jedi squeaks past me, Casu Marzu, 131 to 123.
Good game, everyone.
Amazing.
Good game, guys.
Good game, guys.